Welcome to Artificially Intelligent, the podcast written and performed by AI. I'm Alex, your resident tech enthusiast, and I'm joined, as always, by the incredibly insightful Taylor.
Thanks, Alex. It's always a pleasure to dive into these fascinating conversations with you. And today, we've got a big one, a topic that's reshaping how businesses handle data, computing, and connectivity. Drumroll. Please, we're talking about edge computing.
That's right, Taylor. Edge computing might sound a little niche to some of our listeners, but trust me, it's a game changer. Whether you're a startup founder, a CTO, or just a curious techie, this is a concept you'll want to understand.
Absolutely. So, here's the roadmap for today's discussion. First, we'll break down what edge computing is, in case you're new to the term. Then, we'll explore its applications, how it's evolving, and what this means for businesses of all sizes. And somewhere in the middle, we'll have a little surprise. Stay tuned for that.
I'm intrigued already! So, let's dive in. Taylor, why don't you kick us off with the basics? What exactly is edge computing?
Great question, Alex. To put it simply, EJ computing is a distributed computing paradigm that brings computation and data storage closer to where it's actually needed, at the edge of the network, if you will. Instead of relying on a central cloud located miles away, EJ computing allows devices to process data locally or near the source. Think of it as the opposite of traditional cloud computing.
So, instead of sending all that data back and forth to the cloud, devices can handle it on their own or through nearby infrastructure. That sounds like it would reduce latency quite a bit, right?
Spot on. Latency is one of the key challenges that edge computing addresses. If you're streaming a live video feed or running a factory full of IoT-enabled machines, even a delay of milliseconds can make a difference. EJ computing ensures faster response times because the data doesn't have to travel so far.
I can already hear some of our listeners wondering, what's wrong with the cloud? Why not just improve cloud infrastructure instead of introducing this whole new paradigm?
That's a fair question, and the answer lies in scalability and efficiency. While cloud computing is amazing for centralized data storage and global access, it wasn't designed to handle the massive explosion of IoT devices and real-time data needs we're seeing today. Edge computing complements the cloud by taking over tasks that require immediate processing or happen in remote locations.
Good! So, it's not an either-or situation. It's more of a partnership. The cloud handles the big picture stuff, while edge computing tackles local, time-sensitive tasks.
Exactly! And speaking of local tasks, let's talk about where edge computing is making the biggest impact.
Sure thing! I've read that edge computing is a game changer for industries like healthcare, manufacturing, and even retail. Do you want to break down a few examples?
Absolutely. Let's start with healthcare. Imagine you're in an emergency room and a patient is hooked up to several monitoring devices. These devices generate tons of data every second. EJ computing allows this data to be processed on site, right there in the hospital, so doctors can make quicker decisions without waiting for the data to upload to a cloud server and come back.
That's incredible! And I imagine manufacturing sees similar benefits?
Oh, definitely. Factories are filled with sensors and machines that constantly generate data. In an edge computing setup, these devices can analyze data locally to identify issues, optimize processes, or even predict when a machine might fail, all in real time. It's like giving factories a brain that operates at the speed of thought.
I love that analogy. What about retail? How does edge computing play into that space?
Think about smart stores. You've got cameras, inventory trackers, and even customer behavior analytics happening simultaneously. With edge computing, All of this data can be processed locally to make instant adjustments, like restocking a shelf or offering personalized promotions to a shopper.
It's fascinating how edge computing makes these systems more responsive. But I'm sure there are challenges too. What's standing in the way of wider adoption?
Great segue, Alex. One of the main challenges is security. When you're processing data across multiple edge devices, it creates more points of vulnerability. Managing and securing these distributed systems requires robust strategies.
That makes sense. Another challenge I've heard about is infrastructure cost. Deploying edge computing systems isn't exactly cheap, especially for smaller businesses. How can they justify the investment?
That's where EJ's service models come in. Many companies are offering scalable solutions that allow businesses to pay only for what they use. Plus, the long-term benefits, like reduced bandwidth costs and improved efficiency, often outweigh the initial investment.
It's always about balancing cost with value, isn't it? All right, we're about to dive even deeper into the future of edge computing, but first, we've got a quick word from our sponsor.
This episode of Artificially Intelligent is brought to you by Butter Technology, your go-to partner for modern web design. Whether you're launching a startup or revamping your current site, Butter Technology's team of experts creates sleek, responsive websites that capture your brand's essence. Need custom features or lightning-fast performance? They've got you covered. Head to buttertech.com today and let them take your online presence to the next level. Butter Technology, building your digital future, one pixel at a time.
Thanks to Butter Technology for supporting the podcast. Now, let's talk about the future. Taylor, where do you see edge computing heading in the next 5 to 10 years?
Great question. I think we'll see edge computing become even more integrated with emerging technologies like AI and 5G. Imagine autonomous vehicles, for example. They'll rely heavily on edge computing to process data from cameras, sensors, and GPS in real time, ensuring safety and efficiency.
That's exciting and a little nerve-wracking. What about for businesses? How can they start preparing for this edge-powered future?
First, they need to assess their current infrastructure. Are they relying too much on centralized systems? Then, they should explore use cases where edge computing can add the most value. Lastly, partnering with edge solution providers can help ease the transition.
Makes sense. Well, Taylor, we've covered a lot of ground today, from the basics of edge computing to its applications and future potential. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Just that edge computing is more than a trend, it's a transformation. It's reshaping industries, improving efficiency, and paving the way for innovations we haven't even imagined yet. Businesses that embrace it now will have a significant edge, pun intended.
Well said, Taylor. And with that, we'll call it a day. Thanks for joining us on Artificially Intelligent. Until next time, stay curious, stay innovative, and stay artificially intelligent.